All right, let's get ready to do this, man. Chili Charlie, what up, Chill? So today, man, we're going to talk about top 5 reasons women don't mind me, man. Let me go look at the title again. Y'all bear with me. Top 5 reasons women always cheat in committed relationships but practice celibacy when single. Now, this is a topic that didn't even come to me by request. I just thought it was an interesting topic for me to talk about because it is a fact that women who are single can be celibate for months, sometimes even years. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. There's an industry of, shall I say, intimate toys that is $1 billion a year industry. And 85% of those toys are purchased by women. So I wouldn't exactly say they're going without. They're just going about being intimate with a man. So that celibacy thing is half true, half not true. It's kind of a half truth. I've been celibate for all of this time. No, you've not been intimate with a man for all of this time. But if you're at home with your fake man going to town 3 to 5 times a week, then you kind of don't really get the props that you want for that. But she is not indeed being with a man, because there are women a lot of women who are in relationships and still have their intimate toys. So another thing is this. Some of these women prefer girls. And here's what you got to understand. A woman who prefers girls, when she tells you she's been celibate, she doesn't count the time she's been with girls. Go figure. She doesn't count the time she's been with girls until she's talking to a girl. So if she's talking to a girl, she'll tell her when the last time she's been with a girl, but she probably won't count the time she's been with men, unless you ask specific questions. You have to ask specific questions when you're dealing with a woman, because she will find a way to circumvent the truth by answering a roundabout question. Now, these women who prefer girls, they're just not ready to come out with it yet. So they live this life in secret. So they're not going to include that for those 2 reasons. They find a way to justify the fact that that's not what you're asking for, and they don't want to put that out there just yet. Also, when a woman is recovering from a heartache or just overall dissatisfaction with her previous relationships, or not having her expectations of or her fantasy ideal met in those relationships, it's easy to kind of swear off men for a while. A lot of women you meet who are celibate are simply swearing off men because they're trying to get over their last relationship. Celibacy by choice isn't the same thing as celibacy by force. And if you are absolutely emotionally distraught from your past relationship or past relationships or just overall emotional trauma, then you have to understand that you don't get the props for being celibate by choice. You're celibate by force. You're trying to save yourself by being celibate. You're trying to save your mind. You're trying to save your emotion by being celibate. So another thing is this. Chief, what up, homie? So let's get into the meat of this thing, man. Here's the reality of it, man. The majority of times when a woman enters a relationship, she enters it based on a fantasy idea that she has in her head about what that relationship should be. The majority of times, a woman enters a situation and she believes that her fantasy is going to be fulfilled. They grow up looking at these fantasies. You understand? Snow White, there were 7 men in a room all vying for the attention of Snow White. You understand? After she got through having fun with all those men, she passed out. They say she was poisoned. No, she wasn't poisoned. She was passed out. Then here comes the simp. After all these guys have fun with her, then the simp come along, man, he whisk her off into the wind. Of course, it's a children's story, so they can't tell the truth about it, so they have to romanticize it and make it what it is. You understand what I'm saying? So when they grow up with these, they grow up with Cinderella. Okay, here's Cinderella. She ain't got nothing. She's a scallywag. You know what I'm saying? Like she's the worst scallywag in a scallywag house, right? She finds a way to get somewhere, to go somewhere. Here comes the simp, gonna whisk her off into the wind. He goes through the whole village after one dance. I want y'all to remember this. After one night at a ball. No intimacy, no time alone, one night at a ball. This guy's a prince. He's at the ultimate level of existence. He's destined to be the very next man in line. Meghan Markle, she actually just did this. She just basically showed this to the world. Here's a man, he's a prince. He meets this broad, he drives off into the sunset, leaves his whole inheritance behind. Her story is based on the story of Cinderella. So you may have to understand that these women are raised in a fantasy world. That's why that intimate toy industry, that sex toy industry is so big. Why? Because women can create a fantasy with those toys. And that's what they live on. They live on creating a fantasy. And now we live in a society where men are trapped in that fantasy world as well. So those same women create that fantasy and sell that fantasy on sites like OnlyFans, porn sites. Dig what I'm saying? Blade Runner, what's good? So when her fantasy of love enters her into a relationship, she goes into it with blinders on. Her expectations are blind, and her willingness to give and contribute to the relationship is blind as well. In a fantasy world, all a woman has to do is show up. All Cinderella did is show up. A fairy godmother came and gave her everything she needed to go. She got there. The prince whisked her away. She had to leave at a certain time. She left. She was back at home. She ain't had to do nothing. She ain't had to go find the prince. She ain't had to put a sign up, say Cinderella lives here. She ain't had to do none of that. The prince went through the whole village until he found her. All she had to do was go back home and wait. That's the world girls are taught to live in. You understand what I'm saying? That's the world that girls are taught to live in. And you're taught in all of those scenarios, you're the guy. You're the prince. So you're taught to try to be her prince in shining armor. So she lives in this fantasy. In the real world, life is hard, man. Life takes work. But the majority of women you meet don't want to put in that work in relationships. So her fantasy of love never measures up to the reality of love. She goes in and believes a woman goes in with the expectation for you to love her. Not with the expectation to love you, with the expectation for you to love her. I want y'all to think about that for a minute. She goes into a relationship with the expectation for you to love her. I want y'all to think about the little old lady who lived in the shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. The little old lady in the shoe was a single mother. See what I'm saying? Like it was created into a positive fantasy world. So even the woman with a lot of children lives in a fantasy world. That's the number one problem with relationships right now, because women live in a fantasy world. And if you don't give her the fantasy, she's going to go let somebody else give her part of the fantasy. If there's a man who will whisk her away for a weekend and take her to an exotic location and they just spend a few days together, she'll take that in bits and pieces. Then you come home. That's what the girls' trips are about. There's a group of girls who all shared in the fantasy growing up. They're lifelong friends. They shared in the fantasy growing up. They all got into relationships and realized the fantasy doesn't exist. So they go on these girl trips so they can go have the fantasy and then come back home to the reality of their existence. I want you men to think about the reality of what we've been exposed to growing up. It had always been, you have never heard any fairy tale where a woman is doing her job, where a woman is putting in work. All she has to do is be beautiful and show up. That's why they chase beauty so much. Whatever ideal beauty it is, they chase it because they believe that beauty is enough. And there's enough simps out here showing them that. So when she gets into the fantasy of love and realizes that it's not real, guess what she's going to do? She needs an escape from the reality of life. Women prefer to live in a fantasy world. So a woman who says, I don't need no man, she lives in a fantasy world. A woman who said, well, men don't mean nothing. Men ain't this and men ain't that. She lives in a fantasy world. A woman who believes she can spend the rest of her life with sex toys and actually have an intimate relationship with those toys and get her and be okay. She believes she can have an intimate relationship with her friends and then have a physical relationship with a toy. And then she thinks that'll suffice for her. But she ends up being one of those Eartha Kitt chicks, totally out of her mind at the end. Another reason, and this is one that's the fault of men, because some of these things are men's fault. Sometimes you have a woman who doesn't cheat, but you get into a relationship with her and you turn into a simp. You're not the man you were in the beginning. You don't have the domineering presence that you had in the beginning. Now you find yourself hooping and hollering and fighting with the chick, trying to convince her to follow you. Why? Because you stopped leading. You became the one who relies on her. You became the one who needs her presence. You became the one who's going to step and fetch a couch out of her. You became the wife. She became the husband. At that point, the woman doesn't feel safe in the environment. You understand? That's why a lot of times a woman will be with a beta male, simp man, Johnny, or just a square dude. She'll be with a square dude, and then she'll go end up with a thug. Why? Because she feels safe with the thug. All it takes is one time for you and your woman to be in a confrontation. You handle it like a simp. If she doesn't feel safe with you, she's going to go be with somebody else. That's why if you're not in a position to be what you need to be in order to be the head of a household, which means you are there willing and able to protect that household, willing and able to lead that household, willing and able to provide for that household, then you shouldn't be in a situation like that. Like if you got a woman and she worked 2 jobs, she probably cheating with somebody. You got her working too hard for somebody else. She got 2 bosses. If she got 2 jobs, she got 2 bosses and you're not one of them. So maybe one of those bosses gets the opportunity. See, if you're not in a position of power in a woman's life, then women love power. She's going to flock to the power. So if you're not in a position of power, like a man who works at a job, then your boss come by your house and chump you. Your boss come by your house and get you stepping the fashion and doing all that at your own house. Your woman is going to look at that. She's going to see you as the peon that's serving that guy. And she's going to see the magic of the power that guy has, man. That's just the reality of it. See, some of you men don't want to respect that and accept that. You don't want to accept and respect that women love power. That's just the reality of it. I will share this brand. This is one of my brands. I'm a brand ambassador, Simple Truth Organic. I don't know if y'all can see that. Probably not. It's got a hole right there because of the green screen, but Simple Truth Organic kombucha, pineapple pink guava. Absolutely delicious. One of the best flavors I've had so far. So that's why I say pay the cost to be the boss. You pay the cost to be the boss so you can just be in a position of power no matter what situation you're dealing with in life. Even if you're not the most powerful man in the room, you need to be a powerful enough man in the room where nobody else can run you in the room. Because once your woman sees you in a position of servitude to another man, it's over. Once she sees you stepping the fashion of kowtowing for another man, it's over. Once she sees you bowing to another man, it's over. And then you can do about it, man. It's over. And that's just the reality of the scenario. We're not to Rat Live. Welcome to the family, baby girl. Welcome to the Green Label Gang. Appreciate you joining my team, shout. Here's another thing. Now let me stay on that one for a minute. A lot of times, men will say, "Well, it's not your job to make a woman feel safe. It's not your job to make a woman feel protected. It's not your job to make a woman feel, provided for." It's not. It's not. If you want to be single. But if you're going to put a woman in that position in your life, you got to be in a position to do the things you need to do. Patrick, appreciate the 5. Pat says it sounds like women love power as much as we men naturally do. Women don't necessarily love power. Women love men who have power. So let me rephrase that. Women don't necessarily love the power. Women think they love the power. And then they go out here and they pursue these careers and they do all of this. And then they end up realizing that, woo, that's a lot. And then they want to go back and be wise. Any woman I've ever known who has pursued a career fervently and built herself up and became this woman and became this, at the end, man, she wishes she had just been a wife. Some of them do just go back to that. They just go get a regular job and just want to be a wife. You know what I'm saying? Every woman deep down inside, unless she likes girls, but even if she likes girls, she want to be a wife. Unless she's the one who likes the girly girls, then she want to be a husband. But even if a woman likes, hardcore women, she still wants to be a wife. She wants to be somebody's wife. And here's another thing. When she throws herself at her career, she thinks it'll replace her need to be feminine. And she doesn't understand the more you throw yourself at a career, the more you have to carry the load, the more you have a need to be feminine. The problem is when you exchange your need to be feminine for your need to be in control and to share the power that men have, you lose your ability to be feminine. So a lot of times you have these men in these relationships and they just don't know how to deal with a woman who doesn't know how to be feminine. I don't know how to deal with a woman who doesn't know how to be feminine. I don't know how to deal with a non-feminine woman. I don't know how to deal with a woman who can't even embrace the concept of submission. If she can't handle the word submission, she sure can't handle the work of submission. She can't handle it, brothers. And that's just the reality of it. So if you are in a room, if this is your woman and you're in a room and you're the least powerful man in the room, that's going to that's going to stain her brain. It's going to stain her brain. That's why I tell men all the time, you have to put yourself in a position of power before you deal with women. These guys are telling you, go chase any woman you see that you like. Well, here's the thing. If you're not in a position of power, then you're not going to be able to get that woman. And you know this. That's why the results are so bad. That's why the results are so bad. That's a great point, SJ. It's better off being a highly successful bachelor. That's why I tell you, men, all the time, man, don't worry about that marriage stuff these guys talking about, man. You got to come across a woman who is absolutely, I mean, she fits into your life, man, like you fit into it. Sometimes you had to look at him like, damn, is this her life or mine? She fit in here so well. She has to fit into your life. You don't make compromises for a woman, man. You can't, because her fantasy mind is so fickle that you make all these compromises for her, and she realizes, well, you know what? I thought that's what I like, but I prefer the way you used to be. And what happens? She goes and be with a man that's the way you used to be. It's crazy out here, man. Philip Riggins, appreciate the 5 bond. Can you achieve a high enough position of power on the corporate ladder for a woman to respect you, or is the self-employed the only option? You can, man. You could be on a corporate ladder. You could be in a position. See, women live in a fantasy world. All you have to do is be the most powerful man around her. You don't have to be. What I'm saying is, if you put yourself, you got to stay out of positions where you're the least powerful man in the room. Not just for her, but for yourself too. It sucks being the least powerful man in the room. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you don't have, you know, a platform or the motivation or a plan to become one of those successful men. It sucks. You know what I'm saying? It sucks being the building janitor and in a room with the executives. It sucks because they have an air of power about themselves that you can't display. You know what I'm saying? You simply can't. And I'm not talking about if they confront you or test your manhood. I'm talking about just under normal circumstances, you can't display the same assurity that they can. You know what I'm saying? You're not assured of your position. You just don't have the same ranking. And here's the thing. That's why we grind so hard in this particular society. In other societies, women respect your spiritual essence. Women respect your character. Women respect your masculine traits. In this society, women respect your money and power. Power means something totally different in America than it means in other areas of the world. It means something different in Western civilization than it means in other areas of the world. So you have to adjust your outlook based on where you live. I live in America. You live in America. In America, money and success equals power. Period. So while you're living a life that's pleasing to God, you still got to put yourself in a position of power. God didn't put us here to be broke. He didn't put us here to be poor. So here's another thing. And let me say one more thing about power. Power is not necessarily about just having the money. Power is about being in a position where you can be confident in your stage in the room, and your space in the room, and your place in the room. In any environment, you need to be confident like a king. That's why I tell you, men, start with yourself. Control yourself first. Don't worry about controlling a woman. Don't worry about controlling anything external. Control yourself internally. That way you control the way you view yourself. However you view yourself is how you're going to present yourself to the world. So before you surround yourself with a bunch of stuff confidence, make sure you have true self-confidence. That way you can enter a room with people who have stuff and have the same confidence they have. Most men don't take that route. They rather just go ahead and get the stuff and have stuff confidence. The majority of men who have success, if you take their success from them, they're not the man they portray themselves to be. They're just not. They're not the man they portray themselves to be. Now, another thing is this. A lot of times these women marry a man they can't submit to. You know what I'm saying? If you got to wear on a woman enough, and there's a couple, I got some content. I've been thinking about doing a piece of content on them, man. I may go ahead and do it, man, because there are so many lessons in that piece of content. And I'll go ahead and put that together for y'all, man. Speaking of that, after this live stream, y'all stay here. And it's going to connect you to the Boyce Watkins premiere that I have coming up at 2:30. Y'all stay tuned for that one, man. It's going to be tough. Again, he's going off the rocker and he's attacking alpha energy and telling us not to be the most alpha version of ourselves again. Patrick, appreciate the 5 bones, man. Chief, appreciate the dime. Peace and blessing, big bro. I can't even tap in today. I'm out here in the boonies, down in GA today. Phone keep buffering. Salute, bro. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the support, bro. I'm going to leave this one up for a minute, bro. You have a chance to listen to it on playback. So, you know, when a woman marries a man she can't even submit to, she automatically going to cheat on him. A woman needs dominance. If you notice, if a man is a simp and his woman go to work, she always end up cheating with like an executive or her boss or somebody. You know what I'm saying? Women rarely cheat down when it comes to manhood and masculinity. Like a woman who has a uber masculine man, I'm talking about the man who represents manhood and masculinity, she's not going to go down and cheat with a simp. It never happens. She's not going to cheat with a simp. Now, she'll take some money from a simp, and I can handle that. If a simp want to break bread with my girl, man, let me tell you something, man. Me and my bro, we finna go have a blast on that simp money. That's what we finna do. But I'm talking about a woman who's in a position with who's with a man who's in a position of power. She's not going to cheat down. Women don't do that. That's not how hypergamy works. You know what I'm saying? Women don't monkey branch down the tree. They monkey branch to the canopy. You know what I'm saying? They don't monkey branch to the forest floor. They monkey branch to the canopy. That's just how it is. So if your woman can't submit to you, then she's always open to a man who treats her with dominance. You know what I'm saying? If you the man who puts on a pedestal and tell her, you know, that after 7, I give you the sun, the rain, the moon, the stars, and the mountains. I'll give you the world. You tell her that right there. There's always going to be a man who's not going to give her that. There's always going to be a man who tells her, you know, if you think you're lonely now, wait until the night, girl. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be a man who tells her, you know what I'm saying, I'm the truth. You're a lie if you think I ain't the truth. There's always going to be a man who deal with her that, and women flock to that. A woman needs that dominance in her life. Even the ones who don't want to admit it, they need a man who, whether they want to admit it or not, they have to submit to. That's what she was wired to do. She was put here to be help me. What did God tell Eve? Your desire shall be to your husband, and he shall rule over you. So if a woman has a husband who can't rule over her, doesn't rule over her, that means she married a man just based on the bag. See, if a woman sees you as an unattractive chick, you're an unattractive chick. You know what I'm saying? That's just what you are. You're an unattractive chick. B. Ross, appreciate the dime. The 5. Salute to the atmosphere. Salute to you, bro. Appreciate you. Now, and here's one of the major things I want y'all to understand. Most modern women are lazy lovers. Absolutely lazy lovers. They don't want to put in any time. They don't want to put in any effort. You know, they don't want to put in any learning. They don't want to do any of that. They're lazy lovers. They just want to show up. They believe they're so great. Even without the miles on their bodies, they believe they're so great. Even with all the damage to their psyche, they believe they're so great. Even with all the damage to their emotions, they believe they're so great. Even with all the weight on their spirits, they believe they're so great that they shouldn't have to put in any work. These women truly believe that they can show up and offer you all the things that they've given all the men in their lives, and they're still single. And they believe they can show up and they offer you the same thing. Women believe that they can just keep offering men the same things, and they keep blaming it that they ain't met the right man yet. So they don't want to make adjustments to what they do. They don't want to make adjustments to what they think they are. I remember I had a chick cook for me once, man. She kept putting salt on my food. I told her my tolerance for salt is low. My taste buds don't work like that. You put salt on my food, I can't eat it. She kept cooking for me, kept putting salt on the food. I mean, just over and over. Cooked for me like 3 times, man. Kept putting salt on the food. Of course, she was fired as my chef. You know what I'm saying? No need to cook for me anymore, Shot. I got it. But she kept telling me, well, this is just how I cook. This is just how I cook. But that's what women say. They want to give you what they've already been giving to men before. They want to give you the same intimacy. They want to give you the same connection. They want to give you the same conversation. They want to give you the same body. They want to give you the same mind. They want to give you the same spirit. And let me tell you something. Any woman who's single is not single by choice. She's single because she made bad decisions in men, or she made good decisions in men, and men made bad decisions in her. There is no single by choice woman. Women are single because they don't have good options, whether because of their own doing or because of those men's doing. Single by choice is not a reality. It is not. And if a woman truly believes she's single by choice, then she's given up. She's given up on an intimate connection. And a woman like that, if you put her on your team, she's going to cheat anyway because she doesn't have an intimate connection to you. She doesn't have a spiritual connection to you. And that's another thing. A lot of you men dealing with women you don't even have no spiritual connection to. You know, I know men who were married to women, man, and they couldn't even get along at first. If you meet a woman and y'all can't get along at first, that woman ain't meant to be with you, bro. Y'all don't get along for a reason. God trying to save you, fool. Let God do his job. Get out his way, man. Real talk. That's real, Sco. Sco made a good point. Most men think they're infallible and throw everything on women. You can't throw everything on women. See, we can't say that we're the leaders and then throw everything on women. We can't say women are the weaker vessel when it benefits us, then say, well, this happened because the woman. You know, women, they won't do this, they won't do that. I thought they were the weaker vessel. What happened? A woman can't treat you like a simp if you don't act like a simp. Literally. A woman can't treat you like a simp if you don't act like a simp. Now, I will say this. Sometimes a woman is still tired on the one who got away. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes a woman is still tired on the one who got away. And so that woman will be single by choice because she's just tied to the one who got away. And she's hoping and praying and wishing that the opportunity comes back. And a lot of times she'll think the opportunity is gone, but it's a possibility it'll come back. God will bless a woman with the man of her dreams if she decides at some point that she wants to truly be the woman that God wants her to be in preparation for that man. But that doesn't happen a lot because most women just won't do that. That's another reason most women cheat. They have no connection to God. Most women think their connection to God is in church. Here's the problem. If God breathes the breath of life into us men, then God is in us. You don't have to go to a building for God to be there. Even if you want to go with Jesus' words, wherever two or more are gathered in my name, okay, we ain't got to gather at the church, do we? You see what I'm saying? People want to understand this. And let me tell you something. A lot of times you men are in situations with women and you can't even guide them spiritually. If a woman has a spiritual guide that's not you, you can't be with that woman. That woman is being led by a man outside of your household in the most important way, spiritually. If you can't lead your woman spiritually, she's not your woman. If she doesn't follow you spiritually, you're not her king. That's the way God intended. There's no outside influence from no man outside to your household. And that's why most of us alpha kings end up being single men, because you meet women who are tied emotionally, spiritually, or psychologically to another man. That's our big thing with single mothers. Single mothers are tied to another man in some kind of way. You see what I'm saying? That's our problem with scallywags. Scallywags are tied to other men in some kind of way. That's our problem with church girls. Church girls are tied to some other man in some kind of way. If you got a woman at home and she gets up every Sunday and goes to let another man guide her spiritually, that's not your woman. And as alpha kings, we're okay with that because we're not going to have a woman who's not our woman. We have wonderful lives. We've built up our environments. We've built up our relationship with God. We're not going to let some woman come destroy that because she thinks she knows spiritually better than we do. A lot of times you men think you're with good women because they go to church. Let me tell you something. Some of the freakiest women I've ever known were church girls. I'm talking about up in the church, speaking in tongues, falling out, passing out, jumping around, shouting. Freaky is all outdoors. I'm talking about packed movie theater getting it in, freaky outdoors. Church girl in the movie theater. Cowgirl. Church girl in a park. Back shots. I'm telling you, man, you have to be with a woman who is going to follow you. If she's not going to follow you, she's gone. It makes no sense to do that to yourself. Because if you're going to have a woman who's not going to follow you, you can have plenty of those. You can have a stable of those women. Why put one on a pedestal who's not going to follow you? Who thinks that if a woman believes that she should follow another man spiritually, she believes she knows God better than you do. That's foolish. Absolute foolishness. Producer extraordinaire, Teflon Ron in the building. Salute, Ron. Tef, whichever you want to call him. Dark 80s, baby. Appreciate the fire bone. Yes, sir. Salute to you, man. Salute. Rational Logic 101. Appreciate the 5 bone dropping on my tires. Salute, dog. Salute to you, bro. Mozuba, welcome to the Alpha family. Welcome to the Green Label Gang. DJ Slam Spins, appreciate the 10, man. This is so basic but powerful. Salute to you. Salute, bro. I appreciate it. So you got to keep in mind, man, that when women are lazy lovers, they always need extra motivation to continue giving their best effort. And if she doesn't get it from you, she get it from someone else. A woman believes that whatever she doesn't get from you at home, she has the right, the God-given right, to get it from somewhere else. That's what she believes. She believes she has the God-given right to get it from somewhere else. And I'm going to be honest with you. We built lives that are too amazing to allow that to happen. There's nothing we should ever compromise for the presence of a woman in our lives. You understand what I'm saying? Because she is getting an opportunity to live in the essence of her purpose for existing. Her purpose for being created was to be a helpmeet. And if you give her the opportunity to do that, well, she ain't got to get up and go to work every day with somebody else and grind all those hours, work 2 jobs. She's blessed. And here's a major problem that men overlook. Most women have deep-rooted emotional issues from past pains. And in her mind, this justifies her propensity to be intimately involved with whomever she decides. A woman can be so deep into her pain that she just needs pain relief. And I'm going to be honest with you, y'all ain't going to like this. Justifiably so. If you're in pain, you need pain relief. Whatever relieves that pain. Get a really bad toothache. Get a really bad bellyache. Be sitting on the toilet with the bubble guts. And whatever type of pain relief you can get, you'll invite it. I don't care how you feel about medicine. Get bit by a rattlesnake. I bet you let them shoot that antivenom in you. See what I'm saying? Anytime we're in pain as human beings, we need pain relief. You just have to make sure you're not dealing with a woman who's in that kind of pain. Because if she's in that kind of pain, she's going to cheat. She's going to be with other men. Here's the thing you got to understand about a woman who's in pain like that. A lot of times she doesn't love herself. And any woman who doesn't love herself doesn't even understand what being loved is. So her connection to love is physical intimacy. And we all know how fleeting physical intimacy is as a fill-in for emotional attachment. So if a woman needs emotional attachment and she's trying to fill that void with physical intimacy, she's going to have a whole lot of physical intimacy to get involved in, to get back a fraction of that intimacy, that emotional attachment that she needs, that she longs for. That's why you ask women questions. What kind of relationship does she have with her dad? She needs to have a positive relationship with her dad for multiple reasons. One, if she has a positive relationship with a strong father, then she understands how to deal with men who are in a position of power in her life. She understands respect. She understands reverence. And she also has a fairly good idea of what and how a man should behave and speak even. And secondly, it keeps her from having that void. Because if she doesn't have that, there's a huge void in her life. A granddad can't feel it. Granddad doesn't have the proper intimate connection with her. Father and grandfather, there's a huge drop off in the spiritual connection with that generational gap. She's still connected to her grandfather because her father is her grandfather, but it's been watered down too much. She needs a direct connection with her dad. And if she doesn't have that, she's going to have some emotional issues, brothers. And there are going to be some insurmountable obstacles. Some insurmountable obstacles are going to be in place in that woman's life. And what do you do about that? What can you do about that? Nothing. You take that woman on, that woman has needs that you can't meet. And that's one of the major problems in the relationship. Too many of you men want to save these bras. A woman who needs to be saved can't be saved by you. God saves, we don't. That woman needs God in her life. And if she ain't willing to follow you to God, then you can't save her. All you can do is introduce her to the word of God and show her how to apply it to her life. And if she's not willing to do that, man, okay, man, cool. It's okay. It's no big deal. Nothing for us to be upset about. You got to think about this. Any woman you meet, man, look how long your life has been going on. Look how long your life has been building and growing in a positive direction without that bra. So she's not needed. She may be desired, but she's not needed. It's Tazzy. Appreciate the dub sack, man. Kev, BOA, AMS, and Anton. That's my immediate diet. Appreciate the content, my G. Salute to you, Tazzy. Appreciate it, bro. That's a pretty decent amount. That's a pretty decent amount Rushmore right there, man. So here's what you have to understand, man. When she hates herself like that, and this is going to hurt some men, she needs more love than any one man can give. One man cannot give a woman enough love when she needs that much love. One man cannot satisfy a woman enough when she needs that much love. One man cannot make a woman whole when she needs that much love. One man cannot give a woman the value when she needs that much love. That woman needs constant, intimate engagement with men. And even that won't heal her. A woman who doesn't have a positive relationship with her father will never heal from that unless she has an opportunity to make amends with that man and rebuild that relationship. It's the same with us as men. You understand? If you notice any type of adjustment to my content, it's not because I'm changing. It's not because I'm different. It's not because I trust these bras or anything like that. It's not because the principles of alphaism have changed. It's because I have 100% successfully rebuilt the relationship with my own mother. You understand what I'm saying? It's rebuilt to as far as it's going to be. It's satisfactory to me, satisfactory to her. You know what I'm saying? We've had some conversations about it. It was all just a misunderstanding. You know what I'm saying? It was all just a misunderstanding based on the lack of communication. So what that woman needs is to communicate with her father. She needs to be able to sit down and share her grievances and get some understanding on them, and also give some understanding on where she is and you know how it affected her and whether it affects her or not. See, my mom was under the impression that I hated her. For all these years, I did not know. My mom thought I hated her. When in actuality, I had nothing but love for her because she is one of the most significant vessels in my development into this man that I am. A lot of the things I learned were learned by watching her. I'm blessed. I'm absolutely blessed. The fact that I haven't had to be in one of these I love this broad relationships and only to find out that she was unlovable. I haven't been in one of those because I learned to not do that just from being around my mom. Now, some beta male semi-gentlemen may say, "What did it be away?" That sounded to me like you trying to say your mom the reason, man, that you turned out to be the bad man. You are to be away. You know you ain't no good man to be away. Don't no woman want no man like you to be away. A man want a woman who gonna love her and take care of her and take her back out she cheat and rob her feet and go down and give him a bowl of it every time, even if she just left from another man to be away. He still get him a bowl of it. That type of man a woman want. You ain't that type of man to be away. Unsubscribe. Okay, unsubscribe, sucker. But before you go, let me tell you this. Women don't want that kind of man. They will capitalize on the simp, but they don't want him. They want the experience of being personalized, but they don't want the simp. Women want a man who knows what he is, who knows who he is, knows what he wants, knows what he's going to deal with from a woman, knows what he's not going to deal with, knows how to value the things that he gets from a woman that have value to him, and knows how to correct a woman in the proper way when she does something that she shouldn't be doing. A husband is just a father for a grown woman. But here's the thing. If that woman ain't never had a father in her life, she don't understand what a father is. These women who have this, I'm so powerful, you know, I'm every woman, then, man, she's just not worth your time, brother. That woman right there is going to do whatever she wants to do. I'm telling you, man, what I know. Shinobi Style, salute, man. Appreciate the dime. Filled with music. Appreciate the 5 bone. A man must always lead. Remember that in the Garden of Eden, the Most High brought the woman to the man, and the man gave her identity and a name. For sure. All right. So another thing is this, brothers. Is that my? I'm hearing something. I don't know what that is. Let me see this TV. Y'all hold on for a minute. I'm hearing something, man. Let me see what this is. Y'all hold on for a minute. I don't know what that is, man. Got something beeping in here, man. Let me see what it is, man. I think it might be my jump drive, man. Might be my hard drive. Let me see. Let me take it out and see. Man, I still don't know what that is. All right, there we go. It's my hard drive, man. I had a couple of hard drive plugged in, man. They be going crazy sometime, man. So we back in the game. We back in the game. Let's show back up on the scene. We back in the game, man. All right, so we back. We back. So here's the thing, man, that I want y'all to understand, homies. The reality to the scenario is this. A lot of times you end up with a man, and we talk about this a lot. A lot of times a woman ends up with a man that she doesn't want. See, a woman goes through life, and it's very rare that a woman can't get the man that she wants, and so she just stays single. A lot of times these women will just settle for a man. They can't get the man they want in the way they want him, so they just settle for another man. They settle for a second choice, or third choice, or fourth choice, fifth choice. But here's the thing about that. When a woman settles for a lesser man, a second choice, a fill-in guy, a stopgap, she's always open for an intimate connection with the man she really wants. Always open for it. That's where the whole male best friend thing comes from. If your woman has a male best friend, then that is a stopgap guy. He's a guy, either she's been intimate with him before, she wants to be intimate with him, he wants to be intimate with her, or they flirt around like at some point they're going to be intimate. That's just the reality of it, man. A woman who wants a man will oftentimes settle for another man if she can't have the man she wants. And at that point, even if she doesn't go back and be with the man she really wants, if a man that reminds her of him comes along, there's a possibility that she's going to end up making a connection with that man. You know what I'm saying? And this is just the reality of life, man. I'm not trying to shake nobody up or scare nobody or do anything like that, man. I'm just telling y'all what's real. It's a possibility that she's going to end up with that man. And the bottom line is there's really nothing you can do about it. Many men are with a woman who doesn't want them, who settled for them. And we say all the time that a woman can't settle for a man, but a woman can go to her plan B. And if you're her plan B, her plan A always has an opportunity to come in and ruin the day. For you, at least, anyway. And that's just real, man. A woman is always available to the man who's her preference. Always. Absolutely always available to the man who's her preference. And let me tell y'all another thing, man. A lot of times, a man is with a woman who was never monogamous in the first place. Let that one sink in. A lot of times, a man is with a woman who was never monogamous in the first place. See, as men, we have a tendency to want to save women. We have a tendency to want to step in and make a woman's life better. The only problem with that is you got to understand the moment a woman enters your life, her life is going to be better instantly. So you don't have to do all that extra stuff, giving her money, tricking off on her. But men want to do that. So you'll take a woman who's in a terrible relationship and you'll save her. Put your life on the line. Put your wealth and health on the line. Put your sanity on the line. Trying to save a woman. And all the time you're with that woman, a woman will be with you and have a man at home who's neglecting her. A woman can literally be married to a man who she feel like is neglecting her at home. The man could be giving her have her living in a lap of luxury. That's not enough for a woman. A woman wants to live in a lap of luxury. She wants you to be a man who can get to the money so she can live in a lap of luxury. But she also wants you to be a man who has the type of time to give her time whenever she wants it. See how unrealistic women are? And if you can't do both of those, then she'll let you be the man who provides the lifestyle for her, and she'll go be with another man who does have the time for it. You understand? And even in that situation, if you're a D-boy, your woman's gonna go be with another D-boy. You know what I'm saying? He may not be on your level, but he's gonna be on a good enough level where he got some stuff where she ain't got to step down too low when she comes in, but she'll go be with him. And a woman will allow herself. Let me tell you the most crooked thing about a woman, man. A woman will be with a man, married to a man, not loving, and while she's with that man, go and become emotionally attached to another man. A woman will go and become emotionally attached to another man while she's living in your damn house. This happens more than you think. There was a story in Alabama. I didn't do a story on it, man, because doing white content don't work too well on my channel. But it was in Alabama. This chick had her boyfriend living in the house with her and her husband. Obviously, the husband was gone working all the time. This dude was living in the house. How did the husband find out? He came home and the dude shot him in his own house. Let's try this again. This broad had her boyfriend living in her husband's house because her husband was gone all the time. The husband found out because the dude shot him. Now they put their eye on each other. But man, you shouldn't have to deal with that from no broad. That's a dirty broad, man. But here's the problem. She's not the only one who has that potential. A lot of them have that same potential, homies. And it's a crazy place to be in, man, where you have to worry about that taking place. Because here's a woman who has allowed herself to become emotionally attached to a man so much that she moves him in the house with her husband. But why would she do that? That woman should be afraid to do that. I ain't never had a woman in my life who would do something like that because she would be afraid to do something that stupid. But I've never had a woman in my life that I presented with the type of energy to make her think I'm the type of man that can be done to. Now, what a woman do when she outside the doors, I don't know. But I ain't never met a woman who's going to bring a dude to my crib. You know what I'm saying? Not even let him fall through. But I'm going to be honest with you. I can't even say that because maybe I deserve that. I've gone through some dude crib before. But here's the problem. And I'm going to tell you a perfect example. I told y'all this story once, man. I was knocking the chick down, man. And while I was not, I'm talking about, man, listen, 2-3 times a week, man, I was knocking her down. You know what I'm saying? To the point, man, where I just pull up at her job, man, she come out, get in the truck, man, and knock her down. Send her back in the office. You know what I'm saying? Sometime, man, she come through my crib. Sometime I go to her crib, man. It was just, we had a whirlwind love affair. That's the definition of a whirlwind love affair. While I'm cutting her, bro, at the same time, she was marrying a dude. Like they was engaged and everything, man. Like dude had been known her for a minute. So I just so happened to, where she worked at, the dude came up there one day. And this was when I was in another business. But I was up there and it was one of my accounts. So I was up there, man, and dude rolled up. Now I knew the dude from being, I used to get my oil changed at the shop. That he worked at the shop where I got my oil changed at. So I saw him and I was like, "What's up, man?" Because I get my oil changed there for years. So what's up, homie? I said, "Yeah, man, I'm up here, man. You're up here to see my girl, man." And I kind of knew who it was because she was the only black girl working in her office. And so I said, yeah. I said, what's up, man? That's your girl in that, man? I said, your girl woke up here? He said, yeah, man. He said, I'm about to propose to her, man. Showed me a ring and everything, man. I was like, yeah, man. I said, man, y'all been together for a minute? Like, yeah, man, we've been together, man, probably about 10 months. Bro, I was knocking her down for 2 years. So in the process of me knocking her down, she caught a simp. I was the man she wanted to be with, but she couldn't get me that way. See what I'm saying? So when I tell y'all things, I don't tell y'all things I thought. I tell y'all things that I've seen from my own experience. So I'm the man she wanted. She wanted to be my wife. She wanted to be my woman, but she wasn't gonna be my woman. We ain't had that type of connection. But boy, did we have we had a sexual chemistry that was out of this world. So I'm chilling. I'm talking to him. She comes out and walks up while I'm talking to him. I'm still talking to him. I ain't looking at her in no crazy way or nothing like that because I ain't have no emotional attachment to her. But I ain't lying, man. For I did sympathize with the dude, man. You know what I'm saying? I sympathize with her, man. And eventually, man, I stopped knocking her down. I probably knock her down, man, probably about 2 more times, man. Just to punish her, man. You know what I'm saying? I knocked her down 2 more times, man, try to break her spine. And but after that, man, I left her alone, man. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like she needed some type of punishment, man. So you know what I'm saying? I punished that body, boy. So after that, man, I left her alone, man. But these are the type of things that take place. You know what I'm saying? And every now and then, man, I see her around, and it was always that same energy, man, where, you know what I'm saying, she was trying to lure me back in, but she couldn't lure me back in at that point. I had saw the dude face to face. And he was a good dude, man. You know what I'm saying? He was a good dude. But this just goes to show you one of those circumstances, man, where if a woman can't have the man she wants, man, then she'll take the man she can get. This is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? So, a woman always desires the man she doesn't have, but she wants. There's a rewarded feeling to her if she can get that man. And if she can't get that man in the way she wants him, she'll take that man in the way she can get it. And a lot of times that ends up being a sexual situation. Now I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all like I do. Eventually, because she still kept the same job. You know what I'm saying? So I still had to see her. And this was before I sold out of that business, man. But I still had to see her. And so eventually, man, I ain't gonna lie, man, I ended up knocking her down a couple of more times, man. And one of the last time I knocked her down, man, it was bad, man. It was pretty cutthroat, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I actually I knocked her down at their crib, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I actually went to their crib, man, and knocked her down, man. And I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? Like I just looked at it and I just didn't want to govern myself any better than that. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't want to govern myself at that point. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like whatever could happen, like she deserved whatever bad came from that. You know what I'm saying? Now, not thinking about the bad I deserved from that. You know what I'm saying? But I just did it, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I felt like a turd after that, man. You know what I'm saying? I felt like a real live turd after that, man. Even thinking about it now, man, I feel like a turd, man. I ain't talking about one of them old turds. I'm talking about a fresh dog turd with flies on it, man. The one you can smell when you go around the corner, man. You know what I'm saying? And so that's a point where, I'll be honest with you, man. That was a simp move, man. You know what I'm saying? It was a real life simp move. So I ain't never been a beta male simp mangina who lived a simp life, but I have done simp moves in my life. And that was probably my biggest simp move ever, man. That was beta. It was beta. It was a simp move. There's nothing positive I can pull from that, man. Just thinking about it now, man. I still ask God for forgiveness for that, man. That was a low down dirty snake in the grass move, bro. So I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? I never professed to be perfect, but I've had some experiences, man, that I've learned from, and just keeping it a buck, man. It's just one of those things, man. Now, even thinking about it now, man, I'm disgusted with myself, bro. Because, just looking back in retrospect, I have to admit the fact that I was caught up in that Jezebel energy, man. And I'm going to be honest with you, man, and this is real talk. knocking it down in their crib, man, was one of the absolute best experiences, man, I ever had physically. The physical pleasure of it was so great that if it had made me feel so bad, I probably would have done it again. You know what I'm saying? It made me feel so bad. And like, I just knew I couldn't do it again. So that was it. That was my last time ever touching her, man. You know, and come to find out, man, after that, man, they end up falling out, man. She ended up having to go back and live with her mom and all that, man. I'm talking about, man, you know, like, and I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I mean, God spanked me for it. I may not get into the details of that spanking on Patreon, man, but man, God spanked me for it. So even then, even with the spanking, man, I just feel like I just should have done better. You know what I'm saying? I'm more disappointed in myself than God is disappointed in me, man, because I almost feel like I deserved worse punishment. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, it was one of those things, man. It was a hell of an experience, though, man. I enjoyed it. I can't even lie about it, the fact that I enjoyed it. So I think more than doing it, it's the fact that I enjoyed it so much. You know what I'm saying? That's the part that's got me like, man, you really enjoyed that, didn't you? Like, yeah, man. So, but what happens is a man has to understand the woman he's dealing with. And so if that woman's energy was connected to me like that sexually, I know it wasn't connected to him. I know for a fact it wasn't connected to him. And the crazy thing is, man, I ain't gonna say no broad is out of no man league, but she was bad. I'm talking about bad, sweet, petite, chunked up, dunked up. I'm talking about, man, slim, thick. The girl was bad. You know what I'm saying? Stomach flat, waist small, ass. You know what I'm saying? Nice side country tatas, big full lips, beautiful skin, long flowing natty hair, man. She was bad. And I saw him again, man. I saw him again, man. My son was little. He was like 4. And so it just goes to show you how long ago, man. My son's 12 now. He was 4. I was at Toys R Us, man. Toys R Us is out of business. So I had him at Toys R Us, man, buying him a bike. And I saw this dude in there, man. Man, he was with a big ugly chick. You know what I'm saying? He was with a big ugly chick. And I was like, if that's who you're gonna be with, now a lot of y'all done knocked down some big ugly chicks. But y'all went out in public with the bra. She wasn't your girl. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say all out of knock down his dimes, man. I'd had my share of 6s. I'd knock down a 6 or 7. You know what I'm saying? I'd knock down a 6. I've done that. But she wasn't my girl. We went out in public, like out together, like a couple. And when I saw that, man, I was like, man, that's kind of like whatever you out in public with is your speed. What you knock down, Al just talking to my shorty this morning, man. She knows, just like I know, most men knock down anything. You know what I'm saying? She said her aunt told her if a man can stick a wood in the ant bed, long as the ants don't bite him too long before you get off here, do that. So you got to keep it. Most of us are knocked down. You know, at least we have been in our lives where we're knocked down pretty much anything. And then I realized, man, that he had to know that the way he presented to her, the way he was telling me about, yeah, man, it's got me a girl, man. I'm finna propose to her, man. I wanted to be my wife. I was like, bro, man, listen, I hope you ain't finna try to cut her today, man, because I just swole that thing up yesterday. I'm talking about, boy, it ain't right. So whatever, I was thinking in my mind, I'm like, whatever she telling this dude, man, about why she can't get with him, it's because, boy, that thing got to get back right. Well, I know that thing was swole up and busted over, man, yesterday. So I was like, man, like what kind of energy connection do you not have with a woman to pedestalize her so much that you just skip over all of that stuff and you finna marry, bro, and she'll have no connection to you. So I was just like, man, you know, that's one of those things, brothers. You know, I try to, and I hadn't thought about that in a long time, man, until we did this show, man. So I'm glad that did this show, man, because, you know, I like to keep it a buck with y'all, man, about the things I've done, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, am I going to give y'all my entire life story, every single thing I've ever done? Oh, hell no. But if it's relevant to the topic, man, then yeah. You know, I'm going to be open about it. I'm not going to open a can of worms, then close it, man, when we get to the tough part, man. If I open a can of worms, I'm going to pour all the worms out, man, so y'all can see all the worms. So, man, yeah, in a minute, man, we're going to slide over here to the premiere. With Boyce Watkins, man. This is a phenomenal piece of content. And it's real, man. So it's a little bit longer than my normal premieres are, man. It's probably about 20 minutes long. So I want y'all go head over there, man, to get ready to enjoy that, man. It's going to link us right over there. So, you know, another thing is this, man. In these situations, man, you have to make sure you have a connection with your woman. There has to be some other connection. See, my reason for not even considering her because our only connection was physical. We didn't have any other connection. We had a strong physical connection. We had a strong sexual connection, strong sexual energy, but we didn't have any other connection. You know what I'm saying? And this guy, he was gonna be with her, but he didn't have no physical connection with her. So you got to make sure that you are fully connected with whatever woman you're gonna have in your life. And until you have a woman that you're connected with, you got to be, a certain way. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a certain way and have a certain energy connection to the broad, man. You got to. I see Prodigal Son say, man, you can't knock down just anything. You got to be at least attractive enough to hit. But that's anything. How hard do you have to go to be attractive enough to hit? Of course, man, we ain't talking about the ugliest woman in the world, man. You know what I mean when I say that, bro. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to the extreme and say the ugliest woman in the world, but you'll hit a 5. Don't tell me you won't hit a 5 or a 6. A 5 or a 6 is attractive enough if she dressed herself up. Plenty of time you'd have met a 5 or a 6 in a club and you thought she was a dime till you see her the next morning. A 5 or a 6 can upgrade in a dark club where you've been drinking. She can upgrade to an 8 easy. You know what I'm saying? Under those circumstances, now in broad daylight, she can't upgrade to an 8. But under those circumstances, that's why I never met a woman at a club ever. I mean, I don't go to clubs, but in a couple of times I did, it would never meet a woman. I don't want to meet no woman at no club. You meet a woman at the club, you're gonna have a stranger in the bed in the morning. I promise you. You meet any woman at a club, you're gonna have a stranger in the bed in the morning. You're gonna get up in the morning ready to fight. Wonder who let this crazy person in your crib, man. So now y'all know I ain't talking about the bottom of the barrel, bro, man. You know, so I mean, I've had that before, man. Met a bad chick. Oh my God, was she bad? You know what I'm saying? I ain't even meet her at no club, man, but I met her at night. I think I met her at a reception or something. I can't remember where I met her at. I ain't never been to a wedding, but I've been to a few receptions. Man, I met her at a reception, man. She was so bad. Man, woke up the next morning, I was like, man, what you do with the bra who here last night? How you get in my crib? She like, boy, stop playing. I'm like, I ain't playing, girl. Who are you? So we met last night. My name's such and such. And in my mind, I'm like, damn. You know, I swear, I ain't gonna even lie to y'all, man. I went and got my eyes checked. You know what I'm saying? I went and got my eyes checked, man. Come to find out, I needed some glasses. Real talk, man. Come to find out I need some glasses, bro. Prodigal Son 75. Appreciate the 7 bone, man. Appreciate it, homie. So, you know, I just say this to y'all brothers, man. We got to keep in mind that it's our job to do everything that we need to do to protect ourselves when we're in these situations with these women, because a woman will be in a relationship with you and cheat more than she did if she was single, or be intimate with more men than she did if she was single. Because a woman who's single will be celibate and use a toy. A woman who's with you won't even respect you enough to go use her toy. She'll go and be with another man. Why? Because she thinks she can, until you kick her to the curb. We're going to get ready to head on out of here, man, and link over to this premiere. Listen, man, the premiere is about to come on. It's going to link y'all over there when I end this thing. Let's head on out of here, man. Peace.